You gotta smell the confectionery, take in the grandeur of the castle, the music, the dapper dans. You have to go and get in your Disney feels.
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I'm your host, Allie, here today with Katie and Stacy. What's up, ladies?
Good morning.
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited, as I am every day. I feel like I start every episode by saying I'm so excited. And at this point, it's just true because anytime we can talk Disney, I get excited. Just like I'd imagine anybody that's tuning in is excited just to listen about Disney. It genuinely is that level for me. I still love just talking about all of those things.
You're like the Energizer Bunny, but for Disney. Like you just keep going.
Yeah, I can't stop. I cannot stop. Well, I'm excited to dive into today's topic because I actually think it's a little unique. I don't think we've done a whole lot that has to do with what we're talking about today. But before we dive in, Stacy just became a brand new Cece. Well, not brand new for the first time, but she has added to the ranks. Stacy, congratulations.
Thank you. It has been a wild couple of days, but I do have a new grandbaby after all of it. So that's great. A new baby boy. So excited. He's so cute.
We were on as a podcast team, Baby Watch with Stacy, just anticipating the birth of this beautiful child. He's so cute. He was a little late, so it was every single day, where's the baby?
Yes.
So it was so funny.
Yeah.
I left for my cruise and I was like, okay, we're going to come back and there's going to be tons of baby pictures. And then came back and we were still on Baby Watch. I was like, what?
It's true. We waited for, I think he ended up being 6 days past his due date, but he is so healthy. Mama did great and just so super proud. And I just love my little family.
It's so exciting. You know what I think is interesting? We have so many amazing Smarties listeners, loyal listeners that tune in every single week. And one of the things they always say is these moms are so relatable, but even more so, we span such a wide range in many ways. Like we are so diverse as a group between the 5 of us hosts that are on here regularly. And like, Stacey, you're a Cece. That's just so crazy. And like, I knew you were, obviously, this is not your first grandbaby, but it was just so fun to welcome a baby that, So anyway, I just wanted to give a little shout out to baby on the pod.
Thank you.
And where does Cece come from?
The other grandparents of my grandchildren, the grandmother, she has already been named Mimi. And her name is Amy. So the Mimi came from her name being Amy. And so my son-in-law thought that we could do the same to my name, Stacy, and just take the N sound and be Cece. So, ta-da, I'm Cece.
That is literally so cute. That's so cute.
I love that.
Yeah, my mom goes by Grammy, like the Grammy Awards.
I love that too.
Yeah. Which is just so in character for her. So I always think it's so interesting how people come up with what they call their grandparents.
Do you guys have nicknames for your kids?
My youngest daughter, I have always called Pony since she was born, because I used to make a song out of her name and it sounded like the My Little Pony theme.
Oh.
So like I would take her name and I would sing the My Little Pony theme with it. And then I just dropped the song and continued calling her Pony forever. So I still call her that.
I love that. That's really cute.
Yeah.
I guess each of my kids have a nickname. It's kind of funny. My middle daughter, she's 5 and she goes by Pickles. If you meet Emma, like if you're a rando stranger at Disney World and run into us, Emma will literally walk up to you and be like, "What's up, Pickles?" Like she calls everybody Pickle. It's hilarious. So we call her Pickle. And then Bella, my oldest, who's 8, she really likes Bluey, and they say, biscuits. And so we call her Biscuits. And this week, for whenever we were on the cruise, I ended up going with Bella. It was like a last minute mommy-daughter trip. And you have to have like a secret code to put your kid in the kids club. And our secret code was Biscuits. Because she loves it. But then Tally, my youngest, her name in and of itself is kind of a nickname. Her full name is actually Talitha Kumi, which means little girl rise. But we call her Tally because Tally's cute.
Yeah, that is cute. I like it. Yeah, none of my kids really have shortened version of their names. And I think my littlest is really the only one. I kind of sometimes will call my oldest by her middle name, but I think the only one that has a pet name is my little one. It's like quite literally a pet name because it's an animal. But yeah, it's so fun. Well, congratulations to you, Stace. And that's just, again, so exciting. Today, here on the pod, we're going to be diving into a longer itinerary. We've done single park day itineraries, which have been so helpful to so many of our listeners. Like the feedback from you all is so wonderful. We actually have people that are doing our daily itineraries regularly and telling us when they're doing them, which is just so amazing. But, one thing we haven't leaned into as much that I'm really excited to lean into more is that long vacation. Sometimes we forget because we are frequent Disney goers. A couple of us are locals, not me. Most of us are annual pass holders, not me. But because of that, we are more likely to pop in for weekend trips, or we just hop over for, one specific thing that we're doing. And it's true that we haven't collectively taken one of those really long Disney World vacations in a while. But it's also true that when we started going to Disney, that is what we did. And for most people that are planning a first Disney trip, that's what they're doing, right? You are planning that big dream long Disney vacation. I help families do it when I'm working as a Smart Moms travel agent all the time. That's what you want. And families are always saying, right? And Stacy and Katie, you can both relate to this. Okay, we frame in the dates, we know when we want to go, and then they say, what do we do? You know what I mean? We have all these days. How do we line this up? How do we frame it? And so today we're going to be talking about that long Disney vacation that you're taking with your family, that 7-night, 8-day long trip, the one you say is going to be once in a lifetime, but we know is not actually going to be once in a lifetime. And how you should strategize. What should you be doing? How should you be prioritizing your days in the parks? And when was the last time the two of you actually, I know you plan them with people all the time. When was the last time you took a 7-night, 8-dayer?
Well, we have family vacations that we have established as a big family group with our family of 7, which more than 7 now, and then my husband's 2 sisters and their families, and it would often be his parents as well. And with that large group, we would go every 5 years. Like it was just kind of an established thing. We will go every year, in 5 and 0, which means we've got one coming up we're super excited about. We will be going as our big large trip in 2025. So it'll have that special attention that it needs for being a large group, first of all, because I think there'll be 16 of us. And then it's also a longer trip where we're going to have a couple of first timers on this trip, which I'm so excited about. I love that. But it is going to be one where we go from weekend to weekend and we'll be there a whole week. And I love planning trips like this. And it's really surprising to me, honestly, that we haven't done this yet, because every time we're talking to clients, that's such an early conversation. It's like, okay, on Monday, we're going to do this. And on Tuesday, we're going to do this. And, and we haven't talked about it on this podcast in this in depth yet. And so I'm really excited. And I do want to say, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I'll never stay there for that long, so I'm going to just turn this episode off, do not do that. We are still going to give you tips and just kind of some of the strategy behind why we're choosing these days and parks and how we're doing it, that you can absolutely adapt into your shorter trip. But we think that this is really what a lot of people do. So it's not uncommon at all. We're not doing something that's just for a small group of people, but most of all, it's the strategy and the understanding, because we all do things differently. But if you can understand the why, you can take this information and use it in your vacation and make it a perfect fit for you.
Yeah, I love that you said that, Stacy, because even if you are going for 5 nights, which is also very common, the idea behind the way we have built this specific itinerary can absolutely adapt and work using the same tips, using the same strategies. Absolutely. So we're going to be diving in today into planning a schedule for a 7-night trip, and we're going to talk deeply about the resorts at the end of the episode. We're going to play a little fun game that we do here on the podcast if you're a regular listener. And that's just going to help us explore the resort options in a more fun and entertaining way. So please make sure you stay tuned, because those are going to be very important little nuggets of info from our team. We're excited to offer that because a lot of what we are going to lay out today is dependent upon the resort that you pick. It truly is. And we will get into that without being too confusing as we talk about the itinerary. But your resort absolutely has a big impact on the trip that you're going to be taking and the way and the order in which you do things. So excited to dive in here. How do you all choose? Like, would you do a Saturday to a Saturday vacation? Sunday to Sunday, midweek? What would be the determining factor for you, Katie?
For me, like whenever we were back home in Western PA, I would choose based on flight pricing. So, generally, just generally speaking, flights are cheapest like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, our big family vacation that we took a couple years back, we went from like a Tuesday the whole week through the following Wednesday because we wanted to capitalize on cheaper flights.
Makes sense. And I, as a driver to Disney World, I'm choosing usually to drive down on the weekend. Usually on a Sunday, we have chosen to go down, start early, and then that way our first day in the park is Monday. And that just kind of, I don't know, it's just worked. I don't really know that I have logic for it necessarily, other than just our own personal schedules to just start on a weekend and end on a weekend. But I think I've probably done a little bit of everything, to be honest.
Yeah, I love both of those strategies and ideas and days that you're thinking of coming in and departing. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dive into what a 7-night vacation at Disney World can look like, using tips and strategies that you can apply to your vacation. And I'm really excited to do it.
Hi, Smarties. Carla here from the podcast. You hear us talking about the right way to do Disney, but let's be honest, taking notes isn't exactly easy while you're busy momming and on the go. There's an easy way to get all of those tips organized to simplify your vacation. Check out our 4-part guide bundle available now in our Patreon shop. Also, if getting guides is something you like to help with your planning, joining our Patreon as a Diamond Mine subscriber gives you a new Disney guide every month. Either way, we have got your back on knowing how to plan your park days so you feel like the expert before you walk in the gates.
All right. Diving in. So I wanted to acknowledge because actually, Stacy, you said Sunday to Sunday, and Katie, you said Tuesday to Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I actually think that both of those would be most ideal. Both of those could be perfectly ideal for kind of what we're laying out today. And we didn't even really talk about that beforehand. So I'm like so glad that that's what you said because I totally agree. Before we dive into specifics, right, you want to, when you're planning your long vacation, you want to account for the fact that you're going to be exhausted. And so you want to factor in things that are going to help you maintain stamina and energy and excitement and keep the magic alive, because you can get extremely fatigued when you are doing the go, go, go pace of Disney World. And assuming that you want to fit a lot in on one of these long vacations, that exhaustion is going to hit you for real. So overview of our layout, we wanted to make sure that we didn't cram things brim to make you feel overwhelmed. And we also wanted to make sure that we really emphasize and stress the importance of at least one single rest day, full day where you're not hitting a park. So we're going to kind of talk through what that looks like, but the framework, right, is arrival, park, break, park, depart. Now, I think it's true that a lot of people would prefer, or people have probably heard that, 2 park days should be your maximum before a rest day, right? But on a 7-night vacation, we are going to recommend a 5-day park ticket just to start. And we can talk about this from the view of like a base ticket, which for those of you that don't know, a base ticket gives you admission to one single park per day. And then the upgrade option of that being the park hopper ticket, which allows you to visit multiple parks per day. So we're going to look at this as a 7-night, 8-day vacation with a 5-day base ticket. So the reason we're saying that is because if you're there for that long, you definitely want more park time than just one single day at each park, right? And we're going to explain and recommend the park that we think you should visit twice and be prioritizing as that. But the way that you both said Tuesday to Tuesday or Sunday to Sunday, Katie, in your outline, then that puts rest day on a Saturday, which can be a very, very busy park day, very tough. And so I love the idea that park down day would land on a Saturday, whereas Stacy, yours would be down day on a Thursday, which is also, in my opinion, totally fine. So I like both of those. One other element that we're going to talk about is the deluxe after hours that you get if you are a deluxe resort guest. So here is where I said where you stay really can have a lot of bearings on the way that you prioritize your parks. If you are a Disney deluxe guest, there are 16 deluxe properties that you can pick from. When you stay there, typically Monday and Wednesday evenings are deluxe after hours. Those are included in the price of your package. They are amazing. They are park specific. And both of the itineraries, Sunday to Sunday or Tuesday to Tuesday, include Monday and Wednesday being park days. So you have a lot of consideration in both of those layouts.
What we're about to talk about is so smart, and I feel like we really, obviously as travel agents, we've talked about these itineraries so much, but I love that in this example that we're giving, you're really kind of getting an overview of the nitty gritty of this is how we would frame out your park day, right? To make the most advantage of it. I do think it's probably worth saying too that if you're traveling during a time whenever they're having holiday after hours, like Halloween parties, the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you might have a few more considerations in there too. Like if you don't have a party ticket, then it might change which park you go to on what day, right? But overall, for the majority of the year, this is going to be exactly what you need to have the most magical time.
Yeah, nothing at Disney World is able to be blanket statement, right? Sometimes we get families that we're working with and they just want one clear answer. And it's like, I can answer this question for you 5 different ways, but there are factors we must consider. I'm so glad you said time of year because yes, without a ticket, the reason you have to leave early is because the park closes early. So if you're going during a party season, I know we said today we're looking at this from the idea that you're going with a base ticket. If you're going during a party season, I actually think that's a good reason to consider the park hopper upgrade because you can still go to a party park for the morning, probably experience lower crowds, and then hop somewhere else in the evening hours when the party closes down the park early that you were visiting. So understanding when upgrades make the most sense based on your family's stamina, as well as the time of year you're going, those factors are going to be contributing to how this actually shakes out. But we're just looking at like a general non-party night, non-extenuating circumstances vacation for this itinerary. I think it's important we drive that home. Okay, so arrival day. First day that you're going to be getting to Disney World, you're either flying in or driving in. If you're flying in, you're obviously going to want to think through how you're getting to Disney World. I don't necessarily think that renting a car is necessary. A lot of people just do not realize how bubble Disney really is. You know, it really is a bubble. You don't need a car at all, even if you have car seat age children. You don't need one on property. There is transportation everywhere you'd want to go. Check out our Disney World transportation episode if you're confused about that at all, because we do really outline the buses, the boats, the monorail, everything you could possibly want to know about. So getting to Disney World from the airport, you know, there's going to be shuttle services, private cars, or even just Uber and Lyft services. So you're going to want to talk to your Smart Moms agent because we can really guide what the best option is. But Stacy, when you're driving, do you get to property early? Like, is that a priority for you, or do you usually arrive late? Because I know for myself, as somebody that flies to Disney, we fly as early as possible to get the maximum amount of that day as possible.
Well, I've definitely done both. I prefer to be able to leave really early. If I leave sunrise, I have several pictures of us driving down the road into the sunrise and saying, here we go, we're starting our trip. If I do that, I'm usually arriving at the resorts approximately 3 o'clock. So if I'm really working hard to get there on time, there are definitely some times that I just don't get up and moving quite that early, and I'll be checking in, around dinner time, 6 o'clock or so. So I've done both. And now I don't know if this is where you're headed with this question or not, but I will say I've got to really put in some thinking here on the 2025 option of arrival day being where we can include the water parks. That is an inclusion that's coming up in 2025. Disney is allowing free admission, free entry into the water parks on arrival day. So now I'm going to want to get there early enough to take advantage of that because such a cool opportunity. And it's been something, I don't know, are y'all talking to your clients about that? Like, hey, get those early flights because you want to be able to drop your bags and go to the water parks.
Absolutely. But first, because I want to touch on something else you said, don't forget that this is not free. In my family, we say this is included. Nothing is free. This is included. This is not,
Okay, you got me.
I don't want to send my kids off to Typhoon Lagoon thinking this was just a free entry that Disney gave them. Like,
Amen. Amen to
this is
that.
included. And so, yes, at no additional charge, you get access into one of Disney's water parks on your arrival day in 2025, which is honestly incredible. I have a lot of clients already telling me they're taking advantage of that, of course. So, getting to your resort early, one thing that people question all the time that's very important to acknowledge, Bell services at your Disney resort will hold your bags. Absolutely. Drop them off. It does not matter what time you arrive. Your room at your Disney resort, which you are going to, as you listen to our My Disney Experience episode, you're going to be mobile check-in on your app for your resort. So you're going to actually start getting push notifications from your app and text messages that come from the app straight to your phone about the status of your room. We're so excited to have you. Welcome to Disney World. Room's not quite ready. And then eventually you'll get that text that it's ready, but that's not guaranteed until about 4 p.m. And so you don't want to wait and just arrive then. There's too many amazing things to explore and do, right? So drop your bags at Bell Services. They will keep them. And later, when you actually do get into your room, you can call down. They'll bring the bags to your room for you. So it's super convenient, very easy. I recommend having your bathing suit bag, right? Your sunscreen, your cover up, your bathing suit, your sandals, things you probably didn't wear either in the car or on the plane, just in like a ready bag. We call that our ready bag. We grab it out of the suitcase, run to the restroom and change. And then the clothes we had on become the clothes we put back on after we swim or next year hit the water park. So bag drop, ready bag, and some sort of water experience, right? You're either going to be swimming at that resort or taking advantage of the included water park day. Katie, is that kind of what you would do?
Yeah, absolutely. My family loves Disney's water parks. I feel like I've probably talked about them a lot on the podcast before, but we are always dying to hit Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. We're swimming in the summer whenever it's killer hot out. We're swimming in February whenever it's not killer hot out here. The water parks are just so good. So I'm really excited that they're offering that as included with your Disney vacation package on your arrival day. I really feel like this is such a great opportunity for our clients to be able to see how the magic of Disney is so unique in each park. Like, it's not just about Magic Kingdom and the castle. There's unique magic in Animal Kingdom. There's unique magic in Hollywood Studios, right? But there's also really unique Disney magic in the water parks too. So I'm really excited for more people to get to experience that because I have always been blown away by it. I've always been blown away by how accessible it is for the whole family, that there's something for everybody to do, that we're really enjoying ourselves there. I am very excited for our guests to be going to the water parks on arrival day.
Absolutely. It's going to be so fun. So you're going to get your bags, drop them off, have your ready bag, change for the water, enjoy it. And then that evening, I always recommend like not staying up super, super late, right? You're ahead of a very long vacation that's going to take a ton of energy. So my recommendation is always get a good meal somewhere. I love a good character meal kickoff. That's a great way to start the magic. Or Disney Springs. Always fun. We love, obviously, the boathouse, hitting up the boathouse, hitting World of Disney at the front end of the trip. Maybe you buy a Disney souvenir at World of Disney. That way you're not having to buy it at the Emporium at Magic Kingdom around all day. You just have that portion out of the way ahead of the trip. But I think a good dinner and your options are either going to be a resort character meal, Disney Springs, or of course, Disney's Boardwalk area, which is just such a fun environment to be in. And I think that's a little bit dependent on where you're staying, right? If you're staying on the monorail, maybe you want to hit Steakhouse 71 or a really great monorail resort. Maybe you're going to Ohana so you can have a view of the Magic Kingdom fireworks on arrival day. If you're on the Skyliner, maybe you're going over to the boardwalk. If you're at a resort that only has buses, maybe you are going over to Disney Springs. So this is again when where you're staying really matters. But I just want to say good meal on arrival night. Enjoy a dinner, get yourself some calories in your body because you're going to be walking them off all week.
Yeah, that's true. I like the idea of having a really good family dinner to kick off a vacation. You're on vacation. Let's start vacation mode now, right? Let's do this. I'm always up for a good meal.
And if you have the dining plan added to your package, remember that it is credits allotted per night, as we discussed in the Disney dining plan episode. And so that arrival night, you automatically have access to those credits. It's a great time to use one, connect with your family. What are you most excited about? What's the one thing you want to do while we're here? You know, what's the one attraction that you just can't wait to get on? Who do you want to meet? Which character matters? You know, just connect in that way, I think is very important. And where you do it, like I said, I think it is dependent a little bit about where you're staying, just because you want that ease factor. But as long as you're doing it, I think that's what's important. So that's your arrival day. Lots of fun, lots of connecting, lots of just revving up. And then you're going to get to bed at a decent hour, because the very next day is going to be your first park day. Now, the days in which you're going are really going to matter. And because for ease, we're going to look at like a Sunday to a Sunday trip. Although I really loved the layout of a Tuesday to Tuesday, and really any days you can make work. We're going to look at Sunday to Sunday for ease. So Monday would then be your first park day, park day 1. I am always, almost always, team start at Magic Kingdom. You want to see that castle and have that magical moment right when you arrive. My exception here would be if you're staying in a deluxe resort and your first park day is Monday. Stacy, where are you heading if you're staying deluxe on a Monday?
Oh, you're absolutely going to Epcot and enjoying a nice long day there. It's also great if you can be in one of those Epcot resorts so that you can have a nice long day with a break in between. I know that you said starting at Magic Kingdom is your team Magic Kingdom. We have almost always been team Epcot for starting it off, because we feel like that magic level is there. It feels very Disney because of Spaceship Earth. There's great characters there that to get you started, but we like the build up to Magic Kingdom. So I really do get it. But our family, that's just kind of been one of our things. I can tell you the majority of our trips, we go to Epcot, and Soarin' is our very first thing. And it's just, I'm super nostalgic about that being a kickoff to our trip. So again, it's just, family choices. And I totally support the idea of Magic Kingdom first, because especially if you're a first time to Disney, it does really get you in the feels right away.
If it's your first trip to, if it's your first trip to Disney, seeing that castle right away, I just think it's important. I really do. But I love something you said about family tradition, right? Because the thing is, if this is your first Disney vacation with your family, it's important that you start to create those different things. What makes your family tick, right? Like we have these weird, quirky things that we're like, no, my family has to do it this way, which just leads into the reality that there is no right or wrong way, right? So we're going to suggest day 1 is a park day. And then which park that is, it matters for so many different reasons, right? Maybe you're saying Magic Kingdom because you want that magical view of the castle. Maybe you're saying Epcot because you want the deluxe magic hours that are offered at your deluxe resort, if that's where you're staying. And maybe it's something else, but it is important that whatever park you put there, it's something that for your family is going to be a park that takes a lot of energy, because day 1, everybody's going to pop out of bed at 5 a.m. ready to rock. Like nobody's going to be dragging. They're like a TikTok, right? Where you're like, ears are on. We're dressed, we're at the bus stop, it's still dark outside. Like we're there, we're ready to rock. And I can just tell you from experience, it's still going to be magical, but by day 6, it's going to look a little different. It's not going to be quite that same level of energy. So park day 1 should be a park that requires a lot of energy, which I do think Magic Kingdom is. Like you have to be very forgiving of the heat in Magic Kingdom. We've talked about it. Like there's not a lot of escaping the heat, like in the hub and back in Fantasyland. It's very hot, in my opinion. Like I just have some of my hottest memories are standing watching the parade by the castle. But on day 1, I'm so excited and energized that I don't care about that quite as much.
That's funny. I feel like there's lots of places to go cool off personally, but I'm also the one that's like, hey, let's go hit Carousel of Progress. Let's go ride the Little Mermaid, right? So I'm into a lot of those dark rides with my family. So maybe that's how we're catching our break from the heat, I guess. On our itinerary that we're doing here, where we have 5 park days, I would definitely be in the camp of bookend your trip. Bookends with Magic Kingdom, right? Like we are starting and we are ending with Magic Kingdom in my family, right? You gotta go, you gotta smell the confectionery, you gotta take in the grandeur of the castle, the music, the Dapper Dans. You have to go and get in your Disney feels. So I definitely would say start day 1 at Magic Kingdom. And we've said before, like there there is so much to do in Magic Kingdom. Like, I feel like people don't fully have a grasp of just how big Magic Kingdom is or how many attractions there are. And with the news from D23, like, they're expanding that. There's going to be more to go do here in a few years. There's enough in Magic Kingdom to constitute 2 full days in Magic Kingdom. And in the future, maybe even more, right?
I was literally about to say, are we thinking, because I already think that this is absolutely the best 2-day park, if you have little ones for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a 4-day park, right? Once the villains arrive and cars arrive, like this is that's going to be your whole vacation right there, just to get through Magic Kingdom. Actually, that's going to be an episode. Once all that opens, we're going to be like, how many days do you need at Magic Kingdom to fully enjoy everything that's there? Which I think is amazing, by the way. So yeah, we're going to start at a park and you're going to look at circumstances for your family, but you're going to want to make sure it's a park that requires a lot of your stamina or jumpstarts the magic, or if you're staying deluxe, adheres to magic hours based on the day. And then you're going to go to bed and you're still going to feel good. And on the next day, you're going to have, this is day 3 now. You've had 2 nights and now it's day 3 of your vacation. And that's going to be definitely another park day. You are still of the mindset that you can keep going. And so you're going to want to make sure that day 2 is still another park that requires a lot of energy. They all require energy, but I'm just looking at this from the viewpoint of what's in each park, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're looking at Hollywood Studios because there is a late night show at Hollywood Studios, Fantasmic, which we all recommend. We all love it. And you want to make sure that you are awake enough and excited enough and energized enough to make it to that show. So that's why I think maybe Hollywood Studios in the earlier part of your trip to make sure you don't miss out on Fantasmic is not a bad idea at all. And also there's a lot of attractions there. There's a lot of rides that are big thrills, a lot of heavy hitters. And so you can really spend an entire day seeing shows and riding rides at Hollywood Studios. So that's my argument for why it's a good park. Our recommendation is just that you are at a park on that day. But would you all kind of agree with that? Katie, what do you think?
I think Hollywood Studios is definitely a good one to plan towards the front of your trip whenever you still have a lot of energy and everything. And whenever I'm thinking about a park that is hard to escape the heat in, Hollywood Studios is the first one that comes to mind for me. I'm thinking about my shins sweating in Toy Story Land because it's just that hot, right?
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's almost like they made part of the theming at Galaxy's Edge. They were like, let's make it as desert-like as possible. And like,
yeah, for sure.
They're like, let's suffocate people when they're waiting for the Black Spire outpost. I'm like, it's hot.
It's kind of brutal, the heat in Hollywood Studios, but that makes Smuggler's Run that much better for me, right? I'm like, let's get on Smuggler's Run just to soak up the AC or head to the Disney Junior Dance Party.
Which, just my theory, that might go away, right? To make room for the new Monsters Inc. land, you think?
Oh, no. Listen, I will be sad if they don't have the Disney Junior Dance Party.
No, I'm with you, Allie. I think it would be a very smart move to put Monsters Inc. back there, Monstropolis back there, and let it be an area for toddlers. I mean, I think they could absolutely incorporate Monsters Inc. into a toddler area. So,
oh my God,
I'm rooting for that.
I just had another great idea. We already know that on our grumpiest episode, we had a lot of these ideas that Disney just announced at D23. So I'm just going to throw another one out there. Get rid of the Disney Junior Dance Party, open Monstropolis in that area, and put in a new show called the Monster Mash, and kids can dance with the monsters.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm in.
There you go.
That sounds great.
Everybody's in. Okay. Disney, just start giving us the credit. Throw a little credit our way. If you put in a Monster Mash, we're going to know. Okay. So park day 2 is day 3 of your vacation. You've just done back-to-back parks. My recommendation, sounds like Katie agrees. Stace, do you have any issues with tossing out Hollywood Studios?
That's exactly what we usually do. Like I said, we are usually day 1 is Epcot for us. And I really love that we get a excellent nighttime show on the second park day. So yeah, we definitely go from, sun up to sundown at Hollywood Studios. Love that day. Such a fun day to end with Fantasmic. Have that stamina because you're going to be tired on other days and you're going to be thinking, and I've heard this so many times, and I'm just like, no, like we just couldn't make it. The kids were tired. We just decided to go home early that night. And I'm like, no, you missed Fantasmic.
Yeah.
Which is also another plug.
And I think it's a little bit of an underrated show, right? Like it's so good.
Oh, yeah. And it's another plug for Park Hopper. I know that it's an upgrade. It's not in everyone's budget. However, it's another reason to consider having it so that if we were too tired and went home early, have that Park Hopper option so that you could go back another night if you missed it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth saying too with the park hopper, the weather in Florida is a little bit unpredictable, right? And it may rain on one of these days that you're going to a park that has a fantastic nighttime spectacular. Lord forbid it rains on your Magic Kingdom day or your Hollywood Studios day and the show is canceled. Oh, that's a magic killer right there. So the park hopper adds so much value to your trip because if it rains that night on your Magic Kingdom day, it's no sweat. You can come back another night.
Yeah, we talked about that we actually did a whole episode about the park hopper. We talked about that and about staying deluxe and being able to hop into those hours. So definitely give that a listen if that's intriguing to you and you haven't already, but it has so much value for those reasons. So that's going to bring us then to in our Sunday to Sunday itinerary, Wednesday, right? Which is going to be day 4 of your vacation, but park day 3. Now, by this point, you are getting tired. Those are long 12 plus hour days in the park. You're getting up early. You're walking 50,000 steps in a day. Mm-hmm. You're eating kind of on the go a lot, and it's not always the best meal that you could put in your body to keep up the energy that you need. So by park day 3, and this is why I think a lot of people recommend a rest day after 2 park days, but for this itinerary, I'm going to say go ahead and push for it and push for that 3rd park day. Now, if you are staying deluxe and you are hitting this on a Wednesday, then you probably went to Epcot on Monday. So now it's going to be that first Magic Kingdom day. That's going to be hard, I think. But knowing that you have 2 will give you the opportunity to really pace yourself, to take a midday break, to go a little slower than you may if you didn't have 2 Magic Kingdom days. So the only reason I think you could put it in that 3rd consecutive day is it because you have 2, right? Like you are going to be able to pace yourself knowing you get to go back, and that makes it doable. Now, if you're not staying deluxe and you started your trip with Magic Kingdom, like we talked about for park day 1, maybe this is when you hit Epcot, which is a park I think you can pace very well. I don't think you need to feel rushed in this park. I think it's all very doable, and it is good when you're kind of running out of steam by that 3rd consistent day.
So of the 4 theme parks, I feel like there are 2 that are high energy, lots to do, gonna be park warriors kind of parks. And then there's 2 that are more laid back. We can really just enjoy, we can vibe. And so I love the idea of hitting 2 of those high energy parks and then following it with a lower energy one. So for me, if I'm doing Magic Kingdom on the first park day and then Hollywood Studios on the second park day, those are the 2 parks that I personally consider you need a lot of energy to go tackle those parks. Whereas Epcot and Animal Kingdom, I feel are the 2 parks that are more let's just chill. Let's just enjoy, right? And so this is strategic in when your energy is high and you're at the beginning of your trip, we're front loading that energy. And now on day 3, we're not taking a rest day yet, but it's going to feel almost like a rest day because we're going to one of those parks that you just go and just enjoy, just soak up the magic.
First of all, there's nothing that resets your energy. And I say this from much experience. Like a champagne flight in France. There's nothing that says I've been pushing it and hoofing it for 2 days, like enjoying champagne at an adorable little table in a French pavilion. Okay. This park is somewhere you can just focus on walking around and exploring and eating, and it really is so great. And riding Guardians 3 times in a row if you can make that happen because you have deluxe hours, but not on a Wednesday. So just riding Guardians as much as you can, we'll say. And just, relaxing, but still enjoying a park, right? Like yes. Stacy, I know you like to start at Epcot, but don't you think that this makes sense?
Okay. I'm going to still say I have a pretty good plan going here because I would do Magic Kingdom on this day, knowing it is Magic Kingdom day 1 for our group. And we start there and do as much as we possibly can in a morning when we're excited. And then when that midday slump hits, we know we don't have to worry about it. We're like, you know what? It's fine. Take a break, go back to the room. It's fine. We can either, if it's a deluxe night, if we were doing deluxe hours, we can go back and rest and know that we can come back in the evening. We're not as worried about having to hit fireworks tonight because that's actually, well, spoiler alert, I'm going to say you need to do that on your last night. So I love it as a mid visit because you can get so much done. And I can even actually picture my sister-in-law. Shout out to the sister-in-law who has my same name. Hey Stacy, I know you're listening. She is so high energy in the morning. I could just That's just her personality type. And then she's so early to bed, and she'll tell me, "Oh, thank you for the way you did this today because I'm having so much fun, but I'm ready to go to bed at night." So we don't always hit that late night in the parks, but it's available to you if you're doing deluxe. But you can feel good about going and having that midday break. So I'm still, I love a Magic Kingdom Wednesday.
Yeah, that really leans into knowing that you can pace yourself at a busy park if you have 2 days. So I think we're all in agreement there. A third park day in a row is hard but doable, and you just want to make sure you're in a place where you feel comfortable for whatever reason, that you will be able to go at a pace that feels reasonable for a third park day in a row. Because I will tell you right now, I go to Disney a lot. People know I love it. I'm a Disney expert, absolutely. 3 park days in a row. We did that together. And I looked at you all and said, this is so hard. We were on like a 3-night trip and we tried to do 3 park, that was hard. But yeah, I think that's perfect. So we've done arrival day, talked about some good tips and strategies. Then you had park day, park day, park day. Now we are to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th day of the vacation, right? And that's going to be that long anticipated break day. This is the one thing that I just think is really necessary. If you are a family that's like, no, we are park to park to park, then I'm just going to recommend that you take it easy this day. But our itinerary is going to recommend that you take a rest. And on your rest day, we did a whole rest day itinerary episode. So it's full of tips and different things that you can do on this day. And I highly encourage you listen to that if you're a team rest day like we are, because there are the little lesser known things about Disney World that you should be putting some energy and thought into. But I will just say that this is the day dedicated to your resort in a lot of ways, right? Like enjoy that pool, the food that may or may not be there, ride the transportation. If you're staying somewhere cool, like with the Skyliner or monorail. And then this is when I would also say another good family dinner. Right? If you want to keep the Disney magic alive, it's a great time to hit up a character breakfast or dinner, which I believe we referenced in that rest day itinerary. And they offer those at resorts. Spoiler alert, one of my favorite from our character meals ranked is a character dinner that can be found at a resort. So there are lots of ways to just keep that Disney magic going and threaded through your break day. But it's important to make sure that rest is a priority. Like, I don't think I would recommend doing an 8 a.m. character breakfast at a resort that's far away on your rest day.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I wouldn't do a character breakfast at all on my rest day. I'll do a character dinner, happily do a character dinner, but I'm sleeping in as long as my kids will let me on our rest day, right? Like, I really need that day to just fully rest. Like, my body needs it, my mind needs it. Everybody needs that opportunity to like recharge. So I would not plan a breakfast on a rest day, but I think that you'll be surprised by how much you can do even on a rest day, right? As annual pass holders, I'm subject to blockout dates around like holidays and stuff. And we've spent the last couple Christmases on Disney property whenever it was during blackout dates and we couldn't go to the parks. And I, as a mom, was like, oh gosh, we're going to go to Disney, but we can't go to the parks. Are my kids going to be really unhappy? My kids had the greatest time capitalizing on everything that you can do at the resort, at Disney Springs. Your rest day can be as full of activity as you want. There's going to be plenty to entertain you and the kids, but it should also be a day that you're truly resting.
Rest is the priority. Again, listen to the Disney Bubble episode too that we did. I keep referencing all these awesome episodes that they go hand in hand, right? To give yourself the leg up in your strategizing, because rest is your priority, but there are fun things that you can sprinkle in to really keep that magic going.
I'm going to go backwards and say I agree with you, Allie, in that a character breakfast is perfect for this day. I am in agreement, sleep in. But some of these breakfasts go till almost noon. So you can have a late breakfast.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that's really dependent on where you're staying. Because if it's going to take me a half hour to get to my character breakfast, I probably don't want to do that on my rest day.
True.
If I'm staying at Top Century and I can get to Topolino's via the Skyliner in like 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
and I can score like an 11 a.m.,
Yep.
I might do that, and I could still be at the Pop Century pool by 1.
Absolutely.
I think just really recognizing where you're staying, how close is the character opportunity, and do I want to put it in the morning or the evening, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to bring us to our next park day, and you've just rested, and all of the parks open in the morning hours, right? They open early, but Animal Kingdom to me specifically feels like one of those parks where getting there as early as you can and rope dropping is most important. And that's because that's when the animals are most active. And that's what this park is really about, is the animals. So making sure that you're hitting that park when you are well rested and you feel re-energized to get up and get hustling early so that you can maximize your experience with the animals feels very important.
Yeah, and this park will close earlier too, and you don't want to have wasted most of your day just kind of dilly-dallying in the morning. So get up, get going, hit Animal Kingdom, and have a great day there. I love this day. This is one of our favorite days because we feel like we're back at the park, but we're still a little tired. And so we go home early one more time. And so it's like you've had your rest day to get in bed early, and then you have your Animal Kingdom day to also get in bed early. And that just seems to be the magic key for finishing strong. And I love that.
I agree. Finishing strong is so important because at this point, we've been at Disney World for a long time. We've done 4 full park days. You can still see Pandora lit up at night and get to bed at a reasonable time. There's not a late night show that you're trying to hit. So allowing yourself to get everything in but still rest to really bang it out on that last day. I just think Animal Kingdom is a great selection here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree all the way around. And just like Stacy had said, don't dilly-dally. As much as I love sleeping in on a rest day, gosh, if I could sleep in till 11, I would, y'all. Anyway, I'm going to be rope dropping Animal Kingdom, though, to make sure that I can see everything that I want to see and have those really great interactions with the animals and everything. So I do think it's wise. I have a hard time telling myself it's time to just stop and go to bed. But on your Animal Kingdom day, at this point in the itinerary, you're going to be like, all right, we did our full day and I'm good to go lay down. Maybe hit the pool before you go to bed, but not really staying up late.
Yeah, I love the idea of a little late swim, and it's not really even that late. Like I said, you can see Pandora lit up and still go back to your resort and swim for an hour and still be in bed, which is really important this late into your vacation. We did that. That like little late night pool time is just so fun to experience.
That's my favorite. Together. I'm so fair. I burn on a dime. If I can get a night swim in, heck yes, night swim all the way.
Yeah, and that's a great day to do it. And really any day. We try to be yes parents on vacation. And so if the pool's still open and the kids want to swim, like we try to say yes to that. But this is a great day to really hone in on that. And that's going to bring us then to that last park day. I think we're all in agreement, regardless of where you put Magic Kingdom earlier in the itinerary. And we made great points for all the reasons why it could go in different places. This is definitely Magic Kingdom. Unless you're staying deluxe and checking out on, an Epcot after hours, for ease of this itinerary, we're looking at Magic Kingdom as that last park. We are finishing strong with all of the staple Disney smells, sights, shows, characters, attractions. Happily Ever After, obviously perfect in my opinion. You're ending with that and crying, and I'm hugging my kiddos, and Tink is doing her Tinky thing, and it's just so great. And I can't imagine wanting to end your vacation any other way.
It is truly the best way. You're exhausted and yet you're so happy, and the memories are just kind of getting a little kiss. This is the end of our trip, and it is just the sweetest time.
You just know at that moment when Happily Ever After is happening and you're leaving the next day that your whole vacation is about to be retired to memory. It chokes me up. You've just created the memories you're going to be talking about. And before they retire there, you get to watch the show and you get to just see the castle. And I mentioned it on the very first episode we ever recorded for this podcast. I remember leaving Magic Kingdom on our last day and my mom saying, turn around, and making my brother and I turn around on Main Street and take one last look. And we would always do that one last look. And I still do it, because even as much as I see the castle, when I see it for the last time on a trip, and I know it's going to be a while before I see it again, I want to take that moment and just kind of absorb it in. And yeah, you want to end your trip with that one last look.
I have to say that even as a local who goes to Disney every week, the magic of seeing the castle literally never fades. Every time I turn that corner, my heart flutters a little bit, my eyes get a little bit misty, and my kids look at me and they say, "Mom, why are you crying?" But like I really feel like the magic never fades at Magic Kingdom, and you have to just soak it in that last day. Whenever we're doing like our repeat Magic Kingdom day, I try to take it a little bit strategically in let's revisit some favorites. So anything that my kids are like, "Oh, we had the greatest time doing this," I'm going to go hit that again. But I also try to hit something that we've never done before. So maybe I didn't let my kids play in the Casey Jr. splash pad. I'm going to let them do that day. Or maybe it's our first time doing, the laugh floor with Monsters Inc. Something like that you may have walked by on your first day, go hit it on your second day. It's just the best way to spend that last park day to really feel like you did everything you wanted to do.
Yeah, I just had a family that was at Magic Kingdom the other night and they were sending me pictures from the fireworks and they were like, "Oh, after this we're riding Tron and Space Mountain and we're seeing the laugh floor." Like some people don't realize that you can still do things after the fireworks sometimes. Like they weren't staying deluxe. It wasn't deluxe after hours. Like they were just doing that. And on that last night of vacation, you're like, "I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if we need, like, I'm not going to bed. I'm soaking it in every moment,"
Yeah.
And so fill it brim to brim and just go for it. I think that's definitely it. I feel great about that.
One time, Bella and I were the very last ride on Tron at the end of the night. It was after the fireworks. Our group had been called during the fireworks. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to like miss the window." We were the very last group in. And I also was doing like a rider switch thing. So my husband got to ride with her first, and then I was riding with her second. I felt like I got the VIP tour. They ran a coaster just for the two of us. We were on the very front of the coaster, the last one of the night. I will always cherish that memory and feeling like we were superheroes or something. Like it was so amazing.
That's so cool. I didn't know that story. That's really sweet. That's like the magic you can't plan,
Yeah.
Being able to take a day to experience a park without the hustle and bustle, that if you have already been into the Magic Kingdom park and kind of gotten the lay of the land, you've kind of experienced it as a wow factor, you've walked in on that second day and night, you feel like it's a little bit more like home. You feel more comfortable with where you are. There's a real benefit in that where you know where things are and you can be like, "Oh, we should go over and do this thing." And like you said, it's the thing you would walk past before. And I think there's just a comfort level of appreciation when you're not in that high focus moment of trying to figure things out. And hopefully you have used your lightning lanes well on that first one where you really have gotten a lot done. I feel like that's really the key benefit of a second day at Magic Kingdom. Yes, finish up the things in the morning that you maybe did not get on your first day. It's an excellent way to handle it being such a large park, as we had mentioned. But by that afternoon, by the end of the evening, to just be able to be and enjoy and be with your family, that's the key to it all right there, to really enjoy those moments. And what did you say? Put a little bow on it,
Yeah.
take it and just kind of close up those memories and pack it away for a lifetime of talking about it and remembering it.
I love that.
It's true. It is so true. It's perfect. So you're gonna say goodbye, one last look at the castle, and you've just done a huge vacation, right? Arrive, park, 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 break, park, park. Following the tips and parks that we kind of laid out here would probably be in your best interest. And then you have your departure day. I cannot stress enough, if it is possible for you to take a later flight or plan to drive away later, nothing sounds worse to me than paying for an extra night in a resort just to sleep there for like 4 hours and then have to leave for the airport by 4 or 5 in the morning. Like you don't have to be out of your resort room until 11 a.m. So we are team sleep, brew a coffee and sit and drink it until 11 o'clock. I am rolling out of my room at 11. And then I usually have another ready bag. We're typically taking the evening flight. We don't usually do dining this day. Sometimes if we have the afternoon flight and we're staying at a resort that offers one, we will do like a farewell character meal. But it's not like an all the time thing. Again, I think that kind of just really depends on where you are. But I think it's important to soak in that last day because it is included, And so we usually swim at the pool and just end up changing with our ready bag, our wet bag in the bathroom before our airport transfer comes. and Bell Services has had our bags, and it's great.
Standard checkout is at 11 a.m., but you can call guest services the day before from your hotel room and ask them for a late checkout. And I've gotten that late checkout pretty often lately. Like we've been checking out of the room by like 12:30 or 1. And so then we're like, all right, we got all morning to hit the pool. Let's go.
You can ask for late checkout, and you never know. It's not guaranteed, but absolutely. Like, why not?
I guess maybe because I'm driving. Let's sleep in. I do want to do that. But once I get up, I'm ready to go. I'm just ready to like get that journey started home. But I do like having one more meal there. I do like trying to get my money's worth, right? Do one more Disney thing. So I'm not really into this. Let's go swimming. I don't want to have to do anything like that. But because I'm ready to get on the road, I'm ready to drive home. But that dining experience I do enjoy, even if it's a quick service, if at the resort, like at Pop Century, I still like the idea of one more thing and then we go. And if you're sometimes when you're using the dining plans and you have snack credits left, you just go on over into that gift shop and you finish up those last little snack credits with some snacks on the way home. Mm-hmm. That's a way to go too.
Yeah, do not leave with credit built up in your account.
Absolutely.
Like,
I love that you said, even if like you're staying at Pop Century and you're just getting quick service breakfast from the cafe there, like, just having Mickey waffles is just like that last pinch of magic that you need on your trip, right? Oh,
yep.
Yeah, my mouth is watering thinking about the noodles at Captain Cook's now, which is over the quick service over at Polynesian. Like that's what I'm thinking about when y'all are talking about this. And I just want them like immediately. They're so good. Well, I think that's a perfect itinerary. Now I want to go take a 7-night, 8-dayer at Disney World with my family. If you are a loyal listener and you have not left us a review, or even if this is your first time listening, that's probably an even better time to just wherever you're listening on whatever platform, stop and give us a review and a 5-star rating, because there is nothing that helps us more than you just giving us a little love wherever you listen. Recently, Disney Mama AB said, I found this podcast when I was researching Disney resorts, and I am in love with these moms and this podcast. Listening to them chat about Disney is like chatting with my friends, but they break it down so much more. Each mom has a different spin or opinion, and they all complement each other amazingly. Highly recommend going back and listening to all episodes. Thank you, smart moms. Aww. I love that. Thank you so much. We want you all to feel like our friends, and we did callbacks to so many different episodes today that are going to help you like take this itinerary and then break it down, as you said, Disney Mama AB, even farther if you go back and listen to those episodes. So that is perfect for everything we talked about today. We appreciate it. Now, listeners, it is your turn to leave a review. And if you haven't already joined our Patreon community, you can join at the Diamond Mine level and receive an included guide every single month that you are a member. It is going to be a companion guide to one of our episodes where we take everything we've said, break it down into a visual guide for you, and you're going to be even more of an expert than you already are by listening. So thank you guys so much if you've already done that. And if you haven't, we'll thank you next week because you're going to do it now. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to do a resort-specific lightning lane as it pertains to some of the things we talked about today.
Hey there, friends. I'm Katie Boone, one of your podcast co-hosts. I'd love to invite you to join my Facebook Disney planning community called Planning Disney with Babies, Toddlers, and Preschoolers. In my group, I love discussing all the aspects of planning your magical vacation with little ones. Find my community at facebook.com/groups/Plan Disney with Little Ones. Again, that's facebook.com/groups/Plan Disney with Little Ones. When you join, don't forget to tell me you heard about my group on the podcast. See you there.
Hey, wait. I know you're ready to get back to the podcast, but I've got something very simple for you to do. Join my Facebook group, Disney Planning Made Simple. I'm Stacy, one of your podcast hosts, and I have a sweet, friendly Facebook group made for those of us who thrive in the simple pleasures of life, things like family, food, and Disney. Join at facebook.com/groups/Disney Made Simple or follow with the link in the show notes. We'll be so happy to see you there.
All right. So we talked so much about how where you stay really has a huge bearing on where you eat on arrival day, what you do on your break day, the order that you go to these parks. that we laid out. And so your resort choice really does matter. They're all going to offer complimentary and convenient transportation. It still really can have a little bit of bearing on the choices you actually make. So are you all ready for a resort specific lightning lane?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
So I want quick answers, very quick answers. Okay. I'm going to go Stacy, Katie, me, every question, just so we don't have to stop and determine an order.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want you to stop him hawing around. I just want an answer. It's lightning lane. Got it? This is your multi-pass into the quicker entry. Are you ready?
Oh gosh, this is hard. Okay.
This is a lot of pressure. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. This is resort specific. If you're a family of 5 on a tight budget, where are you staying?
I am looking for the rare but wonderful family suite at All Star Music.
Okay, for a family of 5 on a tight budget, I think I'm doing Port Orleans Riverside for that 5th sleeper.
Yeah, I would do probably Caribbean Beach standard. Save money to get the standard, but get the Skyliner, which makes the strategizing even easier. Or if you're just 2 adults and 3 kiddos, maybe a guaranteed connecting at All Star if we were really on a tight budget, but I'd do a price comparison. Okay, family that really wants to spend time at the pool.
I'm going to go Nemo Suites at Art of Animation.
That's a really great choice, and I love that choice, Stacy. I would go Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village. I love the pool over at Kidani for pool time.
Yacht and Beach Club, duh. Okay, if transportation matters most to you.
I am absolutely going to be on that Skyliner. Monorail, fantastic, super fun, but give me Skyliner. Love it. So I mean, I'm a big Pop Century girl.
I think for transportation, I'm going to go on a monorail resort because if you have those side-by-side double strollers, you want the monorail, right? I would probably pick the Contemporary. I think I would pick the Contemporary for transportation.
Well, for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the hidden Mickey will be monorail, but my answer is going to be anything on the boardwalk area, boardwalk, yacht, or beach, because you get walkability to 2 parks, and there's no better transportation than walking 2 out of 4 of the places. So definitely those. If you're going on vacation without kids.
Easy peasy answer. I'm going to go to the Polynesian. I love it.
The Poly is totally amazing. If I'm going on vacation without kids, I really want to do club level again at Coronado Springs. I really want to do that.
That's good. Mine's definitely Riviera. We want to capitalize on deluxe hours. I just love it. I want to be there with adults. Love it. If you are concerned about convenience and experience over the price, you want convenience more than price.
Okay, so that is going to put me over there at the beach club now. I think that is the most convenient area for anything. You've got all of your restaurants, entertainment, the park, the Skyliner. One of my favorite character meals over there with Cape May. I'm going to go beach club.
If price doesn't matter as much, and I'm really just there for the convenience and the experience of it, I'm going to say Grand Floridian. Grand Floridian is like one of my top tier must stay at resorts.
Yeah, I was going to say the Grand also. Super convenient, also pricey, but if I want convenience over price, I'm probably going to say the Grand. Okay, if you are typically an offsite guest, but you're considering your first on-site stay, give me a resort. Let's go.
This is a conversation all the time with clients. The Pop Century as an excellent first opportunity to experience on-site. It's super fun. It's on the Skyliner and a great value too. I think that is a great option for your first on-site stay.
I would recommend Art of Animation. It's just all the Disney magic with that immersive theming. Again, you have the Skyliner. It has everything that you could want out of a quintessential Disney experience. Art of Animation all the way.
Yeah, because I think somebody that usually stays offsite is probably worried about budget. I would worry a little bit about that, even though I think your answer is great. I might go Pop standard over that just because the budget is usually considerably less over there and you still get the Skyliner. That's such a great intro to being on site. Okay, if you are wanting to experience Disney magic at its finest.
For Disney magic, I think this is where I'm going to put the Contemporary. And I've mentioned it before in a couple of episodes. That is my original growing up in the 70s and 80s kid. I want to be at the Contemporary where the monorail goes through. You're able to be right there and see the fireworks with the castle, and Space Mountain is right there, and the walkability. I absolutely love it. And that little vibe of still got a little 70s vibe going in it. I don't know. I know it's not your favorite, Allie. I'm going Contemporary.
When I'm thinking about Disney magic at its finest, there's truly no wrong answer. Like a million different things came to mind that I was like, oh yeah, this, or that time that we stayed there. But I think I've settled on Port Orleans Riverside in those royal guest rooms with the princess theming because gosh, my girls and I have had so many magic moments in those rooms. Like that is just Disney magic at its finest in my mind.
Okay, well, my answer is by far and beyond the Polynesian. Hello. That is Disney magic all rolled up into the best resort on property. All right, that was really fun. I hope this episode is so helpful as you're planning your first Disney World vacation with your family. If you don't already have a Smart Moms agent, don't forget that these hosts, we plan vacations for families all the time. Plan with us, plan with the Smart Moms agent, and you'll have the best experience you could possibly imagine. That's going to do it for us this time for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.